Where was Don Draper when they needed him? Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for another top 10 marketing disasters. If you like business, entrepreneurship, stories of success, and epic fails, be sure to check out Context TV. We have business professionals who will give you all kinds of helpful tips and tricks for creating your own company, as well as videos that break down what's happening in the business world right now. You'll find a link to the channel in the description box below. For this list, we're looking at even more promotional strategies that seriously missed their intended mark, or gave birth to terrible unexpected consequences. Number 10. An illegal weapon as a giveaway, electronic arts. Producers of violent video games are always having to defend themselves from parent groups that claim that such entertainment makes impressionable young minds similarly violent. When EA sent out a pair of commemorative but functional brass knuckles, along with early press copies of Godfather 2, they really gave the naysayers an easy argument. Worse than being bad for PR, this stunt was actually illegal, given that brass knuckles are banned outright in many states. You can appreciate that EA was getting into the spirit of their property, but the distribution of contraband weaponry via mail isn't something a company wants on their rap sheet. They quickly asked that the knuckles all be returned. Number 9. The endless crab fiasco, Red Lobster. Don't offer up an all-you-can-eat special on a popular and typically pricey item unless you've triple-checked your calculations. Restaurants typically advertise doorbuster specials knowing that whatever the giveaway is, they'll turn a profit on the complimentary products they move. In the case of this 2003 Red Lobster promotion, however, someone grossly underestimated American appetites for crustaceans. Crab lovers took their seats and proceeded to order plate after plate of the stuff. By the third serving, the restaurant was in the red. By the fourth, significantly so.
That man ate all our shrimp and 2 plastic lobsters.
"'Tis no man, 'tis a remorseless eating machine. Arr.
By the end of a promotion lasting several months, Red Lobster had lost roughly $3.3 million, tanking the parent company's stock value. President Edna Morris stepped down. Number 8. The world's largest popsicle melts. Snapple. Clean up on aisle 3. And by that we mean Manhattan's Union Square. In 2005, Snapple decided to go big in the promotional stunt department for their new icy treats. 25 feet tall and 171.5 tons big to be precise. Aiming to set a world record, they constructed a monolithic popsicle and then attempted to unveil it before the public in downtown New York. But first, it had to be transported from Edison, New Jersey on a hot summer's day. And sure enough, as anyone who's ever eaten a popsicle could have predicted, it melted. The grand unveiling was more of a torrent of sticky juice, one that firefighters had to be called in to wash away. Number 7. Making the CEO's social security number public. LifeLock. It's one thing to put your money where your mouth is, but your identity and personal security? That's too much to gamble in any situation.
That's my real social security number.
Nevertheless, in a well-intentioned but wildly inadvisable PR stunt, Todd Davis, the CEO of LifeLock, which offers protection against identity theft, put his social security number on the company website, claiming that thanks to his company's products, it didn't matter. In the only possible outcome, Davis was promptly defrauded by criminals who were only too willing to prove the man wrong. Not once, but a reported 13 times. This spectacular failure naturally undermined people's faith in the company, which was fined millions for deceptive advertising.
I didn't steal his identity. I literally got it off the back of a truck.
Number 6. Hashtag my NYPD photo campaign. NYPD. Police brutality is a big problem in the United States and has been a heated conversation for, quite frankly, decades. There's far too much of a history of bad blood between major police departments across the nation and the general public, marginalized people in particular. So how is it that no one at the NYPD considered that this attempt at modern public engagement might turn ugly fast? For every smiling tourist photo taken with the NYPD, there's an ugly pic of violent altercations, arrests, or brutality at the hands of police officers. And sure enough, it was the latter that Twitter users submitted. And that is a lesson on how not to use social media. Number 5. The Touch Woody PC and its equally laughable advertising. Panasonic. Back in the 1990s, when personal computing was still finding its footing, Panasonic managed to come up with possibly the worst name in marketing possible. In an attempt to emphasize the user-friendly nature of this new Japanese computer, they licensed the Woody Woodpecker character to be used as not only the mascot, but the computer's namesake as well. Meet the Woody. But wait, it gets worse. Because it boasted a touchscreen, the Japanese company put out early promotional materials with the tagline, "Touch Woody, the internet pecker." Seriously, we couldn't make this stuff up. Once they realized their mistake, they made some last-minute changes, but Woody touchscreen isn't much better. Number 4. Invoking 9/11, World Wildlife Fund. There are some subjects that you just do not address unless you're doing it with the utmost delicacy. The September 11th terrorist attacks of 2001 is one of them.
What better way to remember 9/11 than with a Twin Tower sale?
It doesn't matter how noble your intentions. People don't want to hear it compared to anything else. Unfortunately, this is a lesson that the World Wildlife Fund learned too late when the 9/11 attacks were used as a unit of measurement to put the 2004 East Asian tsunami in perspective and teach a lesson about respecting the planet. Their ad, created by ad agency DDB Brazil, showing jets flying at Manhattan, was unsurprisingly met with public outcry after appearing in the Brazilian press, which forced the WWF to apologize. Number 3. Free flights, Hoover. Though it's hard to fathom in hindsight, back in the early 90s, someone at Hoover thought it would be a good deal to offer free flights to British customers who bought 100 British pounds, or somewhere around $175 in 1992, worth of their products.
2 return flight seats. Unbelievable.
At first, the flights were limited to within Europe, but in a move that resulted in things really getting out of hand, the company eventually added US destinations. The money people had to spend was a fraction of a normal ticket price, and so people bought vacuums just for the trip.
I was shocked that they would run a promotional activity where they were only asking a consumer to spend £100 to gain a reward of up to £600.
Utterly overwhelmed by the results, Hoover backed out of its promise, fired executives, and lost tens of millions of dollars. Number 2. Anonymous love letters, Fiat. When you're looking to buy a new car, you're expecting a simple and professional exchange. In the early 90s, however, Fiat broke with that time-honored dynamic and decided to mail anonymous love letters to the demographic of women in Spain they were targeting with their new Cinquecento hatchbacks. These letters were personally addressed, bore no Fiat branding, and adopted the voice and perspective of the car. Characterized as an admirer, the car wrote stuff like, quote, "We met again on the street yesterday and I noticed how you glanced interestedly in my direction." Except, again, there was no context, just a letter. Some 50,000 recipients thought they had a stalker. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are some dishonorable mentions.
It's going to load in the appropriate drivers. You'll notice that this scanner build, whoa.
Number 1. Number Fever, Pepsi. As an attempt to increase sales in the Philippines, Pepsi held what seemed like a pretty standard numbered bottle cap giveaway, but with a big prize of 1 million pesos, or $40,000. The promotion worked wonders, and Pepsi experienced an astronomical rise in sales.
Doctor, heard about the number fever?
Certain popular numbers, such as 349, were supposed to be eliminated from the grand prize draw, but somewhere the wires got crossed, and 349 was wrongly picked and announced as the winning number. The result? Hundreds of thousands of winners expecting a $40,000 payout. Pepsi backed out of the promise, and riots ensued. Pepsi faced lawsuits, trucks were burned, and people were actually killed. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.